Imagine if every young New Zealander unleashed their potential to change the world. This was how Guy Ryan introduced the Festival for the Future in 2014. I remember being there in the audience and just feeling the impact of that statement. It was empowering because it made me acknowledge that I wasn't unleashing my potential, and I wasn't the only one. And so throughout festival, I attended these workshops and networked with really interesting people, and of course with some really incredible speakers. And through it, I was able to gain skills and real confidence in those skills that has allowed me to stop making excuses and to take a passion of mine and apply it to the wonderful philosophy of the Inspiring Stories Trust. Because I believe that young people can unleash their potential through volunteering. My name is Sophie Ross, and I'm currently a Year 13 and Deputy Head Girl at Nelson College for Girls. Less than 2 months away from graduating, so it's been a really exciting year. But the thing that motivates me and excites me most in my life is volunteering and encouraging other people to volunteer, which is why over the past year I have established and have been coordinating a youth volunteer group called Volunteer NCG, which is now home to over 150 students. However, at the time leading up to festival last year, although I was motivated and I was doing well at school, I was also becoming pretty fed up. I felt like I was in this frustrating routine that I couldn't see the full purpose of, which creates this really closed and uninspired mindset, a bit like this hamster here. And I saw this reflected a lot in my peers, and I still sometimes do. I mainly just pin it down to a lack of perspective. And this is the change that I want to see. I want to see New Zealand high school culture become more balanced. I feel it is very much focused on individual development, which of course is important. But when this is the only level that we're working on and we really go beyond ourselves to look at how we fit in the bigger picture, it isn't balanced, and it actually really restricts what we think we can achieve. I began to think that volunteering could be a solution to this in July of 2014 when I went along to the Nelson Youth Volunteer Summit. It was attended by representatives of various organisations to discuss the benefits of volunteering. So of course, the energy of youth and the potential for innovation was a major theme, which was reinforced by guest speaker Jason Pemberton, who attended festival and spoke last year as well. He had a key role in the Christchurch Student Volunteer Army, so I'd seen these benefits firsthand. And he also posed this question that has really stuck in my mind. He asked, how can we create situations which give young people the inspiration and the permission to do things we don't believe they can do? And it was at this point that I linked the benefits of youth volunteering, both for the individual and the community, with the need to create situations in which young people can shine. And it was after festival that I decided I was going to make this happen through a youth program. I'm really thrilled to say that now over 200 hours of youth volunteer work have been completed through Volunteer NCG in the past few months alone. These have been in areas including community and family events, working with Plunkett, the SPCA, as well as inclusive sports programs, which are sports activities for those with disabilities. There's a trust in Nelson that runs these activities weekly for children, and it's just so worthwhile. These comments were taken from a parent evaluation just a couple of weeks after we started going along, so you can see how valued the volunteers are. And although it can be a little bit challenging sometimes, it's really fun for us. And I tell you, there's kind of no better feeling when then little Samuel, who's about this tall with these huge glasses, kind of runs up to you and wraps his arms around your legs and says, "Thank you, see you next week." I tell you, that feeling's brightened even the worst of days for me. And it's really powerful to be in that situation in which you are a role model. Learning what you're good at and what you enjoy in a context in which you can really see the value of your contribution is really positive and really personal development, positive personal development, and that's what you can get when you volunteer. Of course, I'm reassured that this idea is as valuable as I think it is by the response and the support that the group has had over the past year. And in that sense, I've been really, really lucky. It's made it a lot easier to continue despite difficulties when I know that other people believe in this idea too. But of course, the main group that I've been thrilled with the responses is the students. I mean, I don't have a group without them, right? I actually run the group primarily out of a Facebook page, simply because this has proved the best way to do it. So for example, I'll post an opportunity. So Back in March, I suggested this idea of having a performance troupe going around the retirement homes, which is actually something that we're kicking off at the moment. And then I'll ask students to respond if they're interested. So you can see from the responses here that the interest is just always immense, and the diversity of the skills is always incredible. See, here we have harpists, we have pianists and vocalists. And it's the same for most opportunities that I advertise. It's a real diversity of students and a really strong voice of interest. And I love that. I love that it brings people together, and there's something for everyone, all personalities, all skill sets. It's that community collaboration which we know is so valuable, and on the wider scale, it's that promotion of global citizenship, which as the world just becomes more and more connected, it's only becoming increasingly important that we're creating global citizens of our young people. So, putting this idea into action, of course, it's been pretty difficult. It's been an amazing experience, but there's been challenges. It's been difficult to be that primary driving force behind it, but it's also a challenge to delegate. And a challenge that I didn't predict was when I took the idea and I made it public, it was then open for criticism. So I had to become more comfortable making those mistakes. But at the end of the day, it's just been about taking small and achievable steps towards a vision. It's an imperfect system, but it's progressing, it's growing, it's changing, and there's so much potential there. And I think that therefore it is successful. And of course, I don't pretend that the challenges and issues facing our youth and our communities are simple enough to have one solution. But I believe, and I hope I've communicated, that volunteering is so much more than just one solution if it means that many young people are going and gaining confidence in their ability to change their world in their own way. And this project's really taught me how to be resilient and persistent in pursuit of a vision. And I don't think I would have made the progress that I have with this vision if it wasn't for Festival, and so I'd just really like to thank the team at Inspiring Stories Trust. And of course, invite you all just to make the most of the event ahead. Thank you.